No, the title is not clickbait, and if you know something about video games, you probably know why this is the case. So, the medic, one of its skins at least, and it's pretty obvious which skin it is, violates the Geneva Conventions. More specifically, it is the default medic that violates the Geneva Conventions because of its red cross that it has on its shoulder. Now, just in case there are any war crime or tribunals going on for video game red cross usage, improper usages, let me just reassure you that it is level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 4. It's just level 0 to 4 for the medic skin, the default medic skin that uses the red cross inappropriately. Now, other medic skins use a variation of the red cross. So, for example, the cyber medic, if you upgrade the skin, and in fact you can see it on the level 0 skin, but you can see it's not a red cross. It is a grey armband with a white cross indented based on the design of the grey armband. This is not in violation of the Geneva Convention. Now, just to be clear, what the game is violating is the emblems under the international humanitarian law, which states that the red cross on a white background, the reverse of a Swiss flag, is identifiable as a protective emblem in conflict areas. And to protect the usage of this, to ensure neutrality and protection, it is therefore stated that the red cross cannot be used in video games. And in fact, the Red Cross organization have actually come after video game developers who have used the Red Cross inappropriately. Since 2017, when the developers of a game, Prison Architect, were said to be using the Red Cross and the Red Cross organization came after them, all the game developers since then have had to be very careful not to use the Red Cross in their video games. Now, you can use something very similar, because the red cross itself is meant to identify neutrality, so you can use, I don't know, a green cross or a red cross replaced with a simple H, for example. That's what Halo did, apparently. And the Canadian Red Cross even put out a statement saying recently the misuse of the red cross emblem in video games has received media attention, but the issue of protecting the red cross emblem is not new. The red cross is recognised as such in both Canadian and international law, which prohibits its unauthorised use, aka video game developers cannot use the red cross symbol. Misuse of this value symbol distorts its meaning and its protective value for victims of conflict and aid workers that assist them. When someone misuses the red cross, the video game industry just being one of them, we seek their cooperation in ending its unauthorized use. In nearly all cases, they comply and no further action is necessary. If anyone's watching this video, yeah, emblem misuse form, send it over to Tower Defense Simulator developers. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, specifically in the United States, apparently it is 18 US Code 706 Red Cross. Whoever wears or displays the sign of the Red Cross or any insignia coloured in imitation or fraudulent purposes of inducing belief that they are a member or agent of the American National Red Cross shall be fined under this title and imprisoned for no more than 6 months. Now, I don't believe the developers are knowingly violating the Geneva Conventions, but very interesting that this law does apply to them. So once they realise that they're violating the Geneva Convention, it is in their best interest to fix this immediately. Now, developers, yeah, once you do fix this, just saying, Stardew Valley, when they fixed it, they said there was a note saying, fix a Geneva Convention violation. Now, I can totally see developers, after changing the medic, changing it to updating the update log saying fix the Geneva Convention violation. Now, the developers can easily do this in any manner of way. Change the red cross to a green cross. Change it to something like this. In fact, there's a version of the medic that doesn't actually have the red cross. So the first default icon for the medic didn't have the red cross on its shoulder. So actually, initially, developers weren't violating the Geneva Conventions. However, this was like, I believe, the concept skin for the medic before the red cross was added to the medic skin, and its icon was updated accordingly after it was added to the game. But as you can see very clearly, the game has been violating the Geneva Convention since 2019. In fact, the medic does have a health pack which has a red cross on it on its back. You can't see it here because it's behind the tower, but that's also a violation of the Geneva Conventions. Now, there's a very, very easy solution to this. Just remove the red cross. Okay, fair enough. The red cross actually appeared in developmental images, again, unknowingly. However, what you can do is just rework the medic. By the time this video comes out, the medic might have reworked. Then again, it's been like 5 years since this has been added, so you'd never know. But this reworked medic does have a cross that is similar to the Cybermedic cross, which doesn't violate the Geneva Convention because it's not in a red cross. However, apparently, its default medic might have a red cross. I can't really tell from here. If there's a cross that is like neon red because of the parts, that would be a violation of the Geneva Conventions. But from this image alone, it doesn't look like there's a violation of the Geneva Conventions. So in fact, developers have actually already solved it. They just need to rework the medic. However, this medic design is probably really, really outdated, so probably not coming anytime soon. So until that happens, the developers have violated the Geneva Conventions. However, it is not a war crime. bearing in mind that violation of the Geneva Conventions does not automatically mean a war crime. Misuse of the emblem in an armed conflict is a war crime. However, last time I checked, Tower Defense Simulator is not in an armed conflict with someone. Therefore, it is not a war crime. It is just a violation of the Geneva Conventions, which should be fixed pronto once the developers realize their mistake. AKA, once the International Red Cross comes after the Tower Defense Simulator, which may happen after this video has been uploaded, so you never know. I might have actually started a lawsuit with Tower Defense Simulator. I don't think that's how it works, but it might happen. So developers, if you don't want to, violate the Geneva Conventions, you better fix this pronto. Just remove it if you're not getting the rework out in time. It's pretty simple. Or just recolor it. There's only 8 parts you need to recolor: the mesh of the medic and the back of the medic. That's really it. Like I said, it is only the default medic that actually violates the Geneva Conventions. The cyber medic doesn't have a red cross, and I believe the stranded medic uses a green cross, which doesn't violate the Geneva Conventions. So it's fairly simple. Get on with it, developers. Come on. Not even the field medic, when it was recently added, actually violates the Geneva Convention, because as you can see, it's a green cross on a wristband. The Liberator has no red cross, I believe, and then the Frost Legion has a cross that's just white inbuilt into its template armor. So for some weird reason, I guess developers just never got round to updating the medic to remove the Geneva Convention violation. Should probably get onto that, given that I'm now making a video on it. But I don't know. Now, the odds that Tower Defense Simulator gets taken down for this very, very clear Geneva Convention violation is actually pretty low. What the Geneva Conventions probably would do, or the International Red Cross, what they would probably do is send over a notice to Tower Defense Simulator saying that they're improperly using the Red Cross, and they politely would ask them to actually remove it from the game. Then Tower Defense Simulator will probably comply immediately and probably remove it from Tower Defense Simulator, or change it up, or just remove the red crosses on the medic itself. It's only the default medic. As you can see, it's only the level 4 medic with the backpack and the level 0 to 4 with its shoulder blades. However, given the fact that the medic is actually an extremely old tower, in fact it's so old, you can see the texture of the medic's backpack is actually improperly placed. You can see that the cross doesn't actually apply the cross correctly. It's meant to be over the cross, but now you can see it's slightly off. Of course, this all stems from the fact that the medic is outdated. It's extremely outdated. In fact, if you spawn in a brute, for example, on the last level medic, it's meant to have a ray. However, that was disabled, I believe, back in the overhaul update because of glitches associated with the rays actually not disappearing. However, it means that you don't actually see any visual thing that the medic is actually attacking. In fact, the medic itself at level 0 to 4 doesn't have anything visual to show that it's attacking. I believe the stranded medic does show that it's attacking, but that's because it uses a gun, which is completely different to what the medic is using here. Now, obviously, the medic is in dire need of a redesign, and a complete redesign at that. Which is why this Geneva Convention violation has stayed in the game for so long. It's just that it's very funny that Tower Defense Simulator has technically been contravening the Geneva Conventions for about 5 years at this point. All the developers care about it? Probably not. Unless they get a notice from the International Red Cross. And I doubt Tower Defense Simulator will be taken down because of it. More likely than not, Roblox would politely ask them, can you please remove it from your game before we get into trouble with the International Red Cross? But yeah, developers, right? Please remove it politely so, you don't actually violate any international treaty of some kind.